Oh, why does it not record? Okay, there we go. My throat's like acting weird. I don't know what's going on. So if I sound like raspy, I don't know. Maybe I yelled too much at the parade yesterday to throw me something. Um, but today I wanted to talk to y'all really about, I know me and Ashley were talking about this earlier, like making fitness your business. I know a lot of times we overcomplicate coaching. Coaching is not complicated, y'all. And I know that like we as humans just tend to overcomplicate things. But I have built my business just by sharing my journey. That's all I do. Like I don't do anything crazy. To be honest, I don't message like massive amounts of people every day. I just connect with the people that are connecting with me, meaning like they're engaging on my posts. They are asking me questions. And in the beginning, I didn't have like a flood of people like sending me messages. And I still don't have a flood of people sending me messages, but I do often get messages like, hey, I've been watching you for a while and I'm interested. But that wasn't always the case. And I think a lot of people forget that. They see me and Ashley Hidden Success Club, or they see us, growing our teams, and they're like, well, y'all have been doing it, so it's easier for y'all. But in the beginning, it wasn't like that. But all I was doing was sharing my journey. And me and Ashley were laughing earlier because she was like, yeah, I went through some of my old posts and they were awful. Like, they were just awful. They were, us kissing our Shakeology cups and being like, oh, we love our superfoods. Like, that's not really adding value to anyone's life, right? But it was still us sharing our journey, and it was still us, like, showing up every day. And that's really what attracted people. And we still have people coming and saying, we've been watching you for X amount of years and now we're ready. And just because people aren't like liking your stuff or coming in your stuff doesn't mean they're not watching you. So the reason why we named it Make Fitness Your Business is because obviously we are a health and fitness company, right? And a lot of times I see coaches like, oh, well, I'm going to focus on me first, there's nothing wrong with focusing on you. Our vital behaviors, right? The 4 vital behaviors, which I know we have some new coaches on here. We have 4 vital behaviors for this business. One of them is being product of the product, which means you've got to do the workouts and drink the shake and follow the meal plan. So that's working on you right then and there. That's part of your business, right? Hello, I see you waving. And then number 2 is personal development, which is a huge part of this business as well, which again is working on you. So when people are like, well, I just want to work on me first, I'm like, well, that's part of your business. Your business is to work on you. And that's the best part. Like, I would not be 50 pounds down and have been able to maintain that if I wasn't a coach, to be honest. Like, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't work out because there are days where I don't want to work out, but I know, like, okay, well, it's part of my job. Like, it's just like any other job. I know Ashley had to do a bunch of paperwork at her old job. I'm sure she didn't want to do it all the time, but she had to do it because it was part of her job description. Being a coach and working out and eating right and drinking a shake is part of your job description, which I think is pretty cool. Like, I would love to get paid, or I do get paid to, work out, eat right, drink a shake. Now, it's not about being perfect, and that's the best part. Like, you can share those ups and downs, right? Like, you don't have to share being perfect. You don't have to share if you are perfect with your nutrition, that's great. No one is ever. But if, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a great week, celebrate that, and you can share those things. But the best part is like when you get to share those struggles, that's what people connect with. No one wants to see this perfect person. Like, that's not reality, right? So you sharing your journey, ups and downs and not just like, again, not just like the workouts, like your sweaty selfies or the shakes. Make sure that you are providing value. So like, when I share about the shakes, I'm sharing like what they're doing for me, why I choose to drink them, how they're sourced, because if y'all are not educated on Shakeology and like how it's made, it's insane. With how much like love and like, it just blows my mind with how much they care about you in this stupid shake. I say stupid shake, it's an amazing shake, but like, it's insane because most supplement companies don't care. They just put things in a bag and like call it a day. Whereas like Darren O'Lean, if you've ever heard him speak, even on like the Shakeology podcast, you can tell and hear how excited and how much he loves what he does, and how much he cares about the the people drinking the superfoods. So like I talk about that. When I'm talking about my fitness journey, I'm not just like, oh, day 1 done, like great, right? I'm actually in this, like, I do a lot of, for my personal development, I do a lot of like continuing education in terms of like trainings. And I'm not telling you have to do that, but I listen to a lot of podcasts that are like business minded. I listen to a lot of podcasts that are, not just business minded, but like personal minded. But I'm actually in this like I'm calling it a continuing education course, but it's a course on Instagram. And this girl that started out just sharing her journey on Instagram. Her name on Instagram is My Coach Rachel, if y'all want to go follow her. But she is all about like body positivity, and she just started sharing her journey on Instagram. And she ended up like in all these magazines and like all this stuff. Anyway, I'm doing one of her courses. And tonight was actually about storytelling. Like she talked about storytelling. I didn't even get to finish because she was still going when I hopped off to get on this call. But one of the things that she said that I wrote down like a few notes from her, and I'm going to go back and listen and re-listen and kind of, I'll probably go live in our team page about it. But she said, like, it doesn't matter what you sell. It matters how your followers feel about what you sell. So, like, yes, we sell Shakeology and fitness programs and, workouts and supplements, but, like, that is not really adding value when you're sharing your fitness journey or you're sharing the health side of things. Like, you sharing that you love Energize, no one cares. But if you talk about Energize, and I know this sounds weird, but if you talk about Energize, like what it does for you, like gives you energy throughout your workouts. Like I know Jatana Jackson, if y'all follow her, she calls it mom crack, and she always talks about how it's like it just like keeps her sane throughout her day with her kids. Like that's what and I know that sounds silly, but like that's what connects people to you and your story. So I'll talk more about like how to share your story once I go and listen. And then we've talked about it before, but once I go and listen to her. But I thought that was very, like, I was like, oh yeah, I like that. And then one big mistake that a lot of people make when they are sharing their journey is they forget she used an acronym, WIIFM, and that's what's in it for me. So like a lot of times we like, we're sharing our story and we're sharing our journey and we're doing a great job, but then our readers know nothing about what's in it for them because they don't know that they can join a group. Like if all you're doing is posting your sweaty selfies and you're not saying like you have this opportunity to join my accountability group or my boot camps or whatever you call them, or my coach is starting a new boot camp on Monday. Like if you never give them the opportunity to join you in something or join your team or whatever it is you're trying to do, they'll never know about it, right? Like they don't know. So when you're sharing any part of your story, you've got to remember that, like, what's in it for your followers. And I'm not saying that every post has to be an invite, like join my boot camp, join my team. Like I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, even if it's just you talking about your depression, like if you are sharing a story about your depression, at the end of it, there needs to be something in there that adds value to someone's life. So like instead of you just being like, okay, yeah, like I struggled with depression and all through college, and you go through this whole thing, and then at the end you're just like, and then I overcame it. Like that's not going to really help somebody, right? You've got to share like how you've done that. So talk about the personal development you're reading, or talk about a book if you've read a book that's changed your life. Take a quote from it. Obviously say it's from the book, but like share how those things are changing your life, not just like, here's my shake, here's my workout. Awesome, right? Ashley, do you want to talk? Sorry, do you want to talk and say, my throat is like super dry. I need to go get some water. So I'm going to unmute you and you can talk for a second because I know you had a lot to say this morning too.
Yeah. So make fitness your business. Guys, when I started, so Jesse and I were brainstorming on what to talk about today. And I literally went back. I scrolled through my Facebook. When I first joined, I joined for the accountability. Period. End of story. I did not join this to quit my job. I did not join this to build a business. So when I joined, I did it for the accountability. And what I was doing was I was literally posting my workouts. I was literally posting my shakes. I was literally posting my personal development. And I was just posting what I was getting from that. And at the very end of my post, just like Jesse said, I was telling people, like, if it weren't for these accountability groups, if it weren't for this coaching opportunity, you wouldn't see me posting. If you're never posting about your struggles, guys, people are not going to join you. That's just it, right? And to this day, I've been a coach for a little over 2.5 years. I post all the time how I hate working out. And guess what? I attract a lot of people that don't like working out. But bottom line is that if you want to be healthy, you need to work out, right? Another huge part of this business, guys, is sharing you. Like Jesse said, like, yeah, what will your viewers get out of this? But also, what do you have to offer them? I get messages all the time where people are like, I love your personality. Like, you're so bubbly. You're so cute. Like, I wish I could do what you do. Why can't you? Right? Like, you guys see me, like, I'm just a normal person and I'm just posting. And guys, post the way you talk. Post the way you act. I know that for like English majors and teachers and stuff, it's really hard to do that because of like proper grammar and stuff like that. But if you say like, hey girl, hey, put that in your post because it shows your personality and it sets you apart from every other coach out there. Nobody wants to join you if you're this perfect coach, right? Nobody wants to join you if you're getting these bad results and you're like, oh, you have to be perfect in order to join my boot camps. Like, it's just not a reality for a lot of people. And I actually had a conversation with one of our FDF coaches the other day about like her posting. Like, she messaged me and was like, can you help me with my posting? Like, just go kind of scroll my feed and tell me what you're seeing. We forget a lot of times that we're coaches and that we have a community unlike any other, right? So when you're posting, guys, you need to talk to the person you were before you had this. I know for me, like, I don't talk to that girl enough, right? The girl who is miserable at her job, the girl who is overworked at her job, the girl who suffers with panic attacks and binge eats because I don't have time to eat at work. Like, when you talk to people that used to be you, right, you relate to them and people will automatically start following you. Another part of sharing your story, guys, is that it doesn't have to all be Beachbody. It doesn't have to all be fitness. I have been getting a lot of traction on my page because I just announced that I'm pregnant, but I'm not just announcing that I'm pregnant. Like, guys, every single day I talk about something about pregnancy, and I literally have been getting like 30 and 40 messages from people just saying, hey girl, like, hope your day's going okay. I haven't seen a post from you. If you're consistent enough, people will follow you. And even if they're not engaging with you, if you don't show up one day, they're going to be like, is everything okay? It's just important for you to be consistent with this. If you fall off track, post about it, right? If you're having a bad day, post about it. If your kids are being freaking nuts, like, post about it. Because guess what? Every single mom out there who has kids understands the struggles of you having to wake up early because your kids are still sleeping or your kids running in one direction and the other, right? But if you don't post about it, you make it look like mom life is the easiest thing in the world, right? Like, guys, I never thought pregnancy would be what it is because I never saw people posting the kind of stuff that I'm posting. So me posting this kind of stuff is attracting a lot of people who are, one, pregnant, who are like, girl, like, you are bomb for sharing that because I would have never shared that with the world, right? Even though they're going through the same thing. Yeah, just like Jolene said, like, dinosaurs all over my living room. Like, girl, seriously, like, share that, right? Like, if you do a workout video, like, put your kids in it, right? It's okay if they're running around like crazy people, right? Don't clean your living room and make it look like this perfect white picket fence behind you. No, like, show the clutter, show the Legos, show you stepping on a Lego and literally screaming the F-bomb in front of your kids. Because guess what? Like, moms relate to that, right? Someone without kids isn't going to relate to that, right? We're going to scroll your feed and be like, you are a hot mess, girl. Go clean your back room up, right? But other moms who are sitting there and saying, I can't do that because I'm too busy. I have kids. My kids are crazies. I have Legos everywhere. Right? Like, girl, like, this is your reality. So just share it. Just share. Oh, my goodness. just share what's working for you. And guys, if you don't have kids, if you're not pregnant, like, don't feel like you don't have a market, because I promise you, you do. If you work at a fast food restaurant, you have a market. If you work as a secretary, you have a market. Share things on your page that are not fitness related too, right? Ask questions. Guys, this is a huge one. If you are getting no engagement on your post, ask questions. Everyone on Facebook loves to be an expert. I promise you. If you ask a question like, hey, how many moms out there are sick and tired of tripping over Legos or stepping on dinosaurs? You're going to have like 8 million moms comment and be like, girl, the struggle is real. I totally get it, right? Or if you are a secretary, right, and you have to stay late at work, right? Post about that in your workout, right? Like, show your workout or your sweaty selfie and say, man, like, I had kind of a stressful day at work today, but thank God I had these workouts in this community to come into afterwards to de-stress myself, right? That is adding value, right? When we say add value, we don't mean like, I don't know, like, I don't even know. Like, adding value is just adding a purpose to what you're doing, right? So if you don't like working out, post about that, right? But post about how you've overcome that because of the accountability of as a coach, right? Let's see what else. I could like talk for days. You guys are so cute. I love watching your kids, Jolene. Just be you, right? Like, I used to follow so many top coaches and like copy what they did. People see right through that. Okay, so if you're copying a post from Jesse or you're copying a post from me about depression and you don't suffer with depression, like, don't do that, right? And I get it, right? Like, you guys may look at our post and you're like, oh my gosh, I could never make a post like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your posts are 2 and 3 sentences or they're 2 or 3 paragraphs. Like, as long as they're adding value, as long as they're showing people who you are and what you do, that's all that matters. Boom. That's what I got for you.
And another thing, like, just so y'all know, like, I know Ashley does a really good job at this, and I'm trying to get better at it. But like, sharing like your life outside of being a coach. So like, yes, we are health and fitness coaches, but like she just said, like, showing your kids, showing your spouse, like, that's huge, because that again is what people connect with. Again, I wouldn't necessarily use like your Instagram or whatever platform you're using, like, to be like, oh, love my husband, like, he's great. Like, I actually made a post today about my fiance, but I tied coaching into it. I tied how supportive he is of me and how he encourages me to go after like a crazy dream like this, and like how nervous I was to tell him like my vision with this business. And I'm not saying you have to like tie coaching into every single thing, but you also, like, because I've seen people do this, like, oh, man crush Monday, love my boyfriend, and then like that's it. There's like nothing else there. Ashley does a really good job at like tying in her life outside of Beachbody, but she's still adding value. Like, she's still, and like part of her brand is being a dog mom. Part of her brand is being married, and now it's going to be soon to be regular or human mom. Regular mom, human mom, baby mom, whatever. Hopefully girl mom or boy. We would love them either way. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like, part of my brand is pizza, y'all. I get tagged in pizza everything. And yeah, like, that has nothing to do with health and fitness, right? On my Instagram stories today, I was like picking out bathing. I was asking for people to vote on like what bathing suit I should order, and I saw a pizza one. Now I'm probably not gonna order the pizza one. I mean, I might, I don't know, but I like put it in there because that's part of my brand. And I was like, you know what, maybe I will. I don't know. So I just put it in there. I was like, anyone else like think I should get this? And like, that one has the most votes. That one has the most people like commenting or messaging me, be like, oh my god, you need to get this, because everyone knows I love pizza. So like, even though that has, and yeah, that might not add value to someone's life, but it connects with other people who love pizza. It does add value at some point, because then when I'm like, oh, I can eat pizza and still get results, people are like, okay, well, like, this chick loves pizza, but she's still getting results. Like, I need to do that, right? Like, see how it ties that in, even though it has nothing to do with Beachbody, right? Like, nothing to do with health and fitness, because it's actually the opposite of health and fitness. But it shows that I'm a human and I can eat pizza and like still, like, it shows that balance. I know a lot of like, and I'm not like, I actually kind of unfollowed a bunch of coaches because I was kind of doing the same thing that Ashley was doing when I first started, like going in and like copying and trying to do what everyone else was doing. I still will go look at like a few of the people that I look up to just because like I want to see like, you know, not to make sure I'm doing it the right way, because there's no like real right way to do it as long as you're being yourself. But I like to just see what other people are doing. I'm nosy. And because I'm like, I love a lot of these top coaches. I look up to them. I'm like, man, like I want to do that, or like not necessarily posting wise, but like what they're doing with their lives, like where they're going and what they're doing. Like, okay, that's like on my vision board now. So I just like to see what they're doing, and that's okay. Like if y'all see other coaches, like that's okay to like go and look and aspire to like do the things that they're doing. But again, you've got to be yourself, and you've got to share your journey, because you are what sets you apart. People are not buying it. The products are great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Shakeology. I love our programs. They've changed my life, right? But that's not what people are buying when they're buying from you. They're not buying you, but they're investing in you, because there's thousands and thousands of coaches that they can go and find and connect with and order from them, right? They could literally, there's like 400,000 coaches in the United States, Canada, and the UK. So they could choose anybody. But the reason why they choose you, or the reason why they're going to choose you, is because they connect with you on a personal level. They connect with you past the workouts, past the shakes. Like they connect with you because of maybe you shared something about Shakeology, like it's helped with your IBS, or you really like don't just say, oh, it's helped with my IBS, but you like talk about an embarrassing story about your IBS, and you know, you were on a date one night and you had like an issue and had to run to the bathroom. Like I know it's embarrassing, right? Like no one wants to share that, but like other people with IBS could relate to that and be like, okay, yeah, like I know Ashley's like raising her hand.
By the way, guys, when I talk about grown-up poop, I get so much engagement. Like, you guys don't realize this, but I think it's like 68% of Americans have some type of digestive issues. Like, so if you've never talked about Shakeology helping you with your digestive tract, like, you need to talk about that. Like, if you have IBS, or if you've had IBS and Shakeology has helped you with that, that is a way for you to take a picture nonchalantly with your Shakeology, right? And talk about that. Guys, I do this all the time in my posts. I don't ever call things by their names, like Energize. I never call it Energize. Shakeology, I never call it Shakeology. But you will see in almost every single one of my pictures, I'm holding a yellow glass full of Energize. And people buy Energize from me all the time because they're like, what is that yellow drink that you always drink? It makes them curious, right? Because I'm not saying, oh, this is my Energize, this is my pre-workout, right? So when they see me holding it, they're like, what is that drink? She never really talks about it. And it's not that I don't ever talk about it, because I do have posts where I'm like, I love my plant-based pre-workout, right? No jitters, no crashes. Like I say what it does for me. But at the same time, it's that curiosity marketing, right? So if you have your Shakeology cup, purposely turn it around so it doesn't show Shakeology. The minute you give away a name, that person is going to go Google Shakeology and bad reviews, and then they're going to say, okay, well, I'm not going to order that because X, Y, and Z, right? Like it's doing things like that that make people go, okay, I know she's into health and fitness, but what is that she's drinking, right? It's very rare that I talk about my shakes, but anytime I do, I call them my superfoods. And people are constantly like, what is a superfood? What is that superfood you're always drinking? Right? Or I say, oh, 80% of my results, and I'm holding my shake, right? Like, because people don't, if you call it a shake, if you call it Shakeology, people have tried it. That's why it took me so long to try it, because I've tried every shake on the market, right? And none of them worked for me except for this, right? So if you talk about your IBS issues, or you talk about, you know, it making your skin clear, your hair longer, or your nails growing, things like that, like people are like automatically like, I need that. Like it solves a problem, right? And your post should do that. Your post should answer a problem, right? Like what Jesse was saying with like tying in your family stuff. I do a Man Crush Monday every single Monday with a picture of me and Jake every single Monday. And I talk about how supportive he is and how happy he's made me and how he backs me up regardless of what I want to do, right? Did I say anything about Beachbody? No. But I talked about how supportive he is, right? Even if your spouse isn't supportive of your journey, they still support you. So give them a little bit of praise for that. And tag them. Guys, tag them in your posts, because then their friends see it too, right? Yeah, I was going off track with that. But anyway, so it's important that we talk about products, but just like Jesse said, like, people are not buying Energize because I'm name dropping Energize. People are not buying Shakeology because I have a shake that works. People are buying it because I'm showing that it works. I'm showing that I'm using it and that it could help them in some way. And it's because of me. They're buying it from me, right? They're not just Googling yellow pre-workout or superfood shake. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. So, wait, what? I
said, mm-hmm.
So I want y'all to unmute yourselves because we still have like 30 minutes left. I want you to share why you became a coach or why you continue to coach. And I want you to like really think about it. And I'll start, and then Ashley can go. So we'll be. And I didn't tell her we were doing this. I just kind of like made this up in my head just now. But I think like it's important that we get comfortable sharing our story. Like, and I know, and y'all, you don't have to share your whole life story. Like, I mean, you can if you want, but like, you know, and I know I tend to babble too. So I'm gonna try not to share like every aspect of it. But I think it's important that you start getting comfortable with getting a little uncomfortable and sharing your story. And if you start within the team, it's a little bit easier. So like, if you make a post or you like write up a piece of your story and you're like super scared to share it, like post it. And I know like Christine the other day, she's brand new, and she was like, I posted my results. I'm really nervous. You know, like, and immediately people went to go show her love. Like if that, like, that's why we have a team page. That's why we ask y'all, you know, to let us know, like, let us know when you share something scary. Let us know when you share something uncomfortable. Let us know when you want us to show you love, because I don't, to be honest, I don't scroll on Facebook. So I never see anyone's posts. I don't. Like Tyler, my fiance, thinks I like watch cat videos. He's like, did you see that cat video? I'm like, no, I don't pay attention to cat videos on Facebook. Like I work, and I work, like I'm focused when I work. So I don't look at people's posts unless they just pop up in my newsfeed, which is very rare. So I want you to really think and like dig deep and like figure out why you're doing this, because that is what you should be sharing. You know, for me, I'll start now. For me, I started as a discount coach. I say that, but I started using our programs because y'all know my story, most of you, but I was suffering with depression and anxiety. But not even just that, y'all. I was a miserable human being. Didn't want to leave my house. Didn't want to like go around my friends. Didn't want to do anything. Nothing. Okay. And I'm a social person in terms of like my friends. Like I have a very big social circle. I like to like be with them. I like to hang out with them, and I wanted nothing to do with them. I would cringe. Like literally my body would cringe when my boyfriend at the time, now fiance, would tell me that I was beautiful. I would get mad at him and we would fight. Like I would literally yell at him for telling me that I was pretty. And like, that's so stupid. Like what? Like, why would I do that? But I did, because I was just miserable and uncomfortable in my skin. And it got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore. And I don't blame him, because I was so mean. And he walked away. He's like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do it. And I knew that I needed to make a change. I knew, like, if I didn't, we were going to be done. And we broke up for like a month or two. And I went back to him, and I was like, I literally was like begging him for like a second chance. And I am not that person. Like, I am not that person, but I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. Like, he's my best friend. I'm in love with him, obviously. And I just knew that something needed to change. And so I literally promised him that I was like, I will literally do anything. I will literally do anything to fix me, because I knew that that was the issue. And it wasn't just physical. Like, he loved me whether I was size 10 or a size 0. Like, he could give, you know, he didn't care about that, but I cared, and it was affecting our relationship. And so I started yo-yo dieting, all the wraps, all that fun stuff. I'm gonna like fast forward because I literally did everything out there under the sun. Nothing worked, and it just continued to spiral. I continued to spiral. My depression, anxiety continued to get worse. For some reason, the poor guy stuck around, and you know, he stood by me. And when I found Beachbody, it changed everything. I found a community of support. I found accountability. I found programs actually worked. I found a healthy relationship with food. Just everything changed. Everything changed for me. And then I found the business, and I didn't want to do the business, but I saw the potential that it could do for me mentally, physically, financially, and my relationship, what it could do for us in the future. Like, I had this vision that I could be staying at home with kids one day, or being able to go with him when he's off of work, or like go on vacations and things like that. And that is what has continued to drive me. You know, yes, I do it to help people. I love to help people, but I also like see the bigger picture in the business side of things, and that is why I show up every day. Like, I'm not always motivated to work out or to share scary stories or to like get vulnerable and share my heart, but I do that because I know that if I connect with just one person, if my story, my message, or my mess could be my message and could help someone else, like, why would I keep that from, like, I'm doing people a disservice by not sharing. So that's why I started, and that's why I continue to keep going, y'all. Like, because I've continued to grow every year, even if it's just by, you know, a few more coaches on my team, or a little bit more income. Like, I always say, like, I would do coaching if I wasn't getting paid to do it, because I love it. But at the same time, I see so much potential in the business, and that is why I show up every day for him, for me, for us, and for like our future. And obviously to help people. So that's why I started. That's why I keep on going. Yeah, I'm going to stop because I'm just going to keep talking about myself. So, Ashley, I want to know why you coach.
So I need to share this on my social media because I never share this on social media. And a lot of you know my story. It's very similar to Jesse's. But the real reason why I joined as a coach is because I saw Jesse on a cruise for free, and I thought it was a scam. Okay. Fast forward 8 months later, and I saw her at our coach summit, surrounded by so many positive people, surrounded by so many pretty people, right? Happy people. And for me, I had lost that. When I was in high school, I was super popular. I was on the sports teams. I did student council. And after I graduated high school, I'd gone through a really bad breakup. And a lot of my friends decided to stay friends with him and not with me. So I had lost a huge part of my life. I had lost so many friends. I was coping with food and alcohol, and drugs. So the few friends that did stick around, they left really quickly. And for me, that was just it. I just kept spiraling, right? Like, what do you do when you have no friends? What do you do when the only thing that makes you happy is food, alcohol, staying out late, partying, wasting away a full ride scholarship to a state college? You don't do anything. You keep going down that path. And so when I saw Jessie at Summit, I reached out to her because I had hit rock bottom. I was to the point to where I was about to lose Jake. He was one of my only friends. And he literally was like, look, like, something has got to change. Like, I went out and disappeared for 24 hours because I was so drunk. I had blacked out and fallen asleep on a little old lady's couch. Thank God this little old lady took me home because I don't remember anything from that night. So we had a sit down talk, and he said something has to change because if not, I'm leaving. And so I reached out to Jessie and I said, look, I need to be where you're at. Like, I need to be at that conference. And Jessie's like, well, just drive to Tennessee. She literally told me to just drive to Tennessee. So long story short, I joined coaching for the accountability. I didn't join coaching because I wanted to work out. I joined coaching because I needed something that was going to change my life. And I saw the way it changed hers. And I knew that if she could do it, I could do it. And so I joined for the accountability. I started posting the worst posts in the world. Day one of size. And I love this workout because it's only 30 minutes and I can dance my booty off. Those were my posts, guys, quote unquote. but it started adding value to people's lives, right? Like people saw that. People saw that I was dancing for working out, saw that I loved what I was doing. And people were reaching out to me when I first joined as a coach because they saw the difference between the old Ashley and the new Ashley. So I joined for the accountability, for the community. And here I am 2.5 years later, doing this full time. Never imagined that that would be my life. And I'm so glad to say that I'm doing this because now, guys, like I'm to the point to where I can be a stay-at-home mom. Like I can still earn an income and still be able to show up for my kids, still show up for my husband, and not have to stress about going to work. And, you know, we say this all the time, like if that's not your thing, like that's totally cool. But I know for me, like now that I'm in this place, it's literally saved my life and it's changed my life. And that is why I show up every day, because if Jesse's life can change the way it did and my life could change the way it did, I know so many other people out there, their lives could change, you know, and I've stepped up as a leader on this team, and I'm very, very introverted, but I've stepped up as a leader because, guys, like I need you to see what this business can do for you, right? Like it can be something as small as making friendship circles, right? Or it can be something as big as you building this into a real business and staying home with your kids, right? Like the sky's the limit. I don't care what you want, right? Like whatever you want, I'm totally cool with. But just know, like, we're normal people. I'm a normal person. Like I literally like almost ended up in a ditch that one night. Literally, right? Like, so if I could go from waking up on an old lady's couch, like picture Everyone Loves Raymond, you know, the couch covered in plastic. That is what I woke up on, guys, like legit. So that's really my story. And guys, like, I don't share that a lot because that's super embarrassing that I was a 22-year-old who disappeared for 24 hours because I was so drunk, like, right? But I know there's so many people out there that need to hear that. And because I just came to that realization, I'll be making a post tomorrow. All right, who's next?
Anyone want to like offer to share? Y'all, this is between this team. So like I recorded Ashley because I know she won't care, but I'm not recording anybody else, I promise.
And there's no wrong answer, guys. Like everyone joins for their own reasons and everyone keeps going for their own reasons. Like just because Jesse and I are now full-time building this as a business, like if that's not what you want to do, that is totally fine. We love you where you're at. We support you with whatever goals you have. We just want the best for you. We're like your moms.
Your moms. No, but I do just want to, I want you to think about this because like no one, when I first started, like, again, I started with the discount. So I didn't have like a reason why I was doing it because I just wanted the discount. But one of my uplines like asked me like, why, like when I started like wanting to build the business, she's like, why are you doing this? And I was like, what do you mean, why am I doing this? Like, I'm just doing it. Like, I don't know. What do you mean? And she's like, well, there has to be a reason why you want to do this, like why you want to be successful. And I was like, I don't know. I've never thought about it. But the more and more I thought about it, like I figured it out. So I want you to think about it. And if you're not comfortable sharing, like, that's okay. I'm not going to like force you to share. But if you do want to, we'd love to hear it.
I'll share, Jesse.
Okay.
It's a terrible story. How can I put it? So I'm a mom with 4 kids and I'm on my 3rd marriage. After I had 2 kids with my first marriage and, divorced. Then I jumped into my 2nd marriage and that was a complete and utter disaster. I gave him a family and he stopped paying bills without me knowing. I was giving him my money and my house was foreclosed. My car was taken away. I had 4 kids and had no idea what I was going to do. Like none. And I come from a very broken home. I have no idea where my mom is at and my dad, I'm still raising him. So I don't have family to like that. I don't have a safety net. So I was just like, what am I going to do? And I don't, he's a father to my daughter. And so I don't throw him under the bus, right? he left me with nothing. So I wound up working 2 jobs, just trying to get by, got an apartment. And through all of this, I actually met my now husband, who was a friend like from before, and he just helped me out with jobs and just like, hey, you do this, do that, I can help you. I know some people who can like give you another job if you need to, that kind of stuff. So I was doing everything I possibly can just to put over a roof and food on the table for my kids. So I was doing everything I can. And I lost so many people because everybody thought it was my fault. Like I did something. So I lost friends. I lost everything. And I felt like a complete and utter loser for just I felt like a loser. I mean, I felt terrible. And so I had seen one of Jessie's posts that she had come from all this stuff and she was successful. And I thought, I want to succeed in one thing. That's it. I want to feel like I succeeded in one thing. So I thought, if I'm paying, I know the value of $1 after going through all that. Because before I was like just taking it for granted. Now, like, it's like, if I'm doing this, if I'm investing, I have to do this for me and my kids. Like I felt like I just was in a horrible place, and I wound up gaining like 30, 40 pounds because I was literally working 60, 80 hours a week, eating, just doing what I could just to survive for my kids. And so I contacted Jessie, and one day I was like, I'm going to take it one day at a time. I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to work out, and I'm going to make a good choice on my eating. I'm going to do this. And I slowly, like, after doing Shift Shop, that was the very first program I did. That was the very first time that I got into one of Jessie's groups. And me succeeding after those 21 days has been the world to me, because I can tell you that it was the one thing that I succeeded on. Like I did it. Like I did one thing in my life correctly, because I felt like a terrible mom. I was never around. Everybody had to take care of my kids except for me. So I did it. I like succeeded in one program, and that program led to another program led to another, to like almost 40 pounds later, that my kids now, literally my oldest is 14 and literally has come to me and told me that she feels like she has her mom back because I was not there. And so now my husband is amazing. He's like supportive. He knows my history, and he's like, you'll always have somebody, but now I know that I can do something for myself. Like I did it, so that's my why, because I was literally with nothing. Like I didn't have a home or a car, and I just had to survive on what I could.
Well,
that's my why. Like I'm going to succeed on this, and I'm going to prove everybody that I can do something. Everybody who left me with nothing, I'm going to prove to them every day. I'm going to prove to them that I'm going to do this, because nobody's going to ever think that I'm a fucking loser again. Excuse my language, but nobody's ever going to do that to me again. So I got left out in the dust.
And I'm like literally crying over here.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you.
You're like wiping your faces.
I'm seriously like about to go stalk you. Like, how am I not friends with you, Vet? Like,
well, but that's the other thing. I'm so private because I was like, it's just because people left me after that mess. Like they left me, and I'm slowly trying to share more and more of my life. So, I post about my husband and how like he's been there for me and stuff, but I'm getting there. I'm opening up a little bit more in my post and stuff, and I'm working on it. It's just,
and it's gonna take time. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. And there will be things, y'all, that you will never, like you said, you don't want to throw people under the bus. You don't want to, and I don't want y'all doing that if that's not comfortable doing. Like there are things that I probably will never share. I mean, there just isn't. I don't want to, family stuff that I don't want to make people feel bad about. Like nothing like that. And you can share things like your story without. It makes it a little tougher, but without throwing people under the bus still, but that was awesome. So thank you. I really appreciate you sharing, because I'm now crying, and I don't usually cry, but apparently I'm an emotional person today.
Sorry.
No.
I want you to know like that's how much of an inspiration you were for me. You made it possible for me to succeed in one program.
And
that
see,
one
like, that's
program now.
something that connects with other people. Like, there's so many people out there that would just want, and that was me too. Like, I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do one program and get through one, you know what I mean? And then, like, once I did it, I was like, okay, like, I did it. So, like, I'm going to keep going. So yeah, I think that, yeah, like Ashley just said, just how strong your story is. Okay, let's move on, because I know we still have 3 people. And again, if you don't want to share, like, don't have to, but if you are wanting to, Sarah or Christine, Sarah, are you raising your hand? Yeah? Okay. You too. There you go.
Yvette, that was pretty badass story. Just by the way, you're badass. So
Yeah, I'm glad I went before her.
I'm like, okay, well.
Hey, your story is your story. So everyone's story is powerful.
How do I follow that? Okay. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of like I have 2 different, I'm not going to go into it, but when weight first started, it was mainly because I was struggling with, I mean, I've struggled with my weight all my life. So I've always fluctuated, and I've tried to, like, all these different diets. Like, I could go down the line too, like Jess said, with different ones that I've tried. And so when I first heard about Beachbody, it was one of Jessie's posts, and seeing that she was able to maintain her weight in a healthy way, that's what really caught my eye. So I joined because I really wanted to try something different. And so when I found out what it was all about and the community that was in it and the accountability, I got really interested in, like, being a part of it. Now, as far as coaching, that goes more into more personal reasons, obviously, because my husband is an only child. He had his mom and dad that recently passed away from cancer. And I was there for both whenever they had passed. So it was really hard, especially when his mom recently passed away a year ago. I mean, we were, sorry, I hate talking about it. But we were there whenever she was sick and when she had passed. And I just remember seeing that, and just, it was hard to even watch him losing both of his parents. And so, me and Jason were just really not healthy people. You know, I mean, I tried to be, but a lot of times it was like we both weren't really that healthy, and I knew he was more susceptible to cancer. So I wanted to be able to do this in order to kind of help us live a long life where we could be healthy, and that when we do have kids in the future, we could, you know, basically just promote that in our lives and be there for our kids for as long as we can, so they wouldn't have to go through what he went through, because it was just so horrible to watch, and it's still hard. But that was, like, the main reason why I got into it, and why I didn't wanted to do it for myself and for him, and to be able to help other people who were struggling with that too. So, I mean, that's kind of a short and sweet version of my story, but that's basically why I got into it. I can't really, it's a long story.
No,
that's kind of my story with it.
Thank you for sharing. Again, freaking cry. Y'all got me, like, all crying, and
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like a basket case over here. No, I really do appreciate it. I know that's not easy to share. And that I relate to that too. So understand, and I think that that's a great reason why, you know, to show your family and future family and to live longer. Like, a lot of people, there's so much disease out there, y'all, and like so many people lose family members and not to say cancer can be prevented or all disease can be prevented, but like, if we are doing the best that we can at doing that, like, that's going to inspire a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So
even just prolonging it as long as we can, because I mean, I'm not, you know, saying, but they knew that they weren't taking care of themselves either. So it was just kind of like, we knew it was coming, kind of a thing.
yeah.
It just happened so quickly, and I guess that's what was so hard about it. And then just watching it happen was the worst. So but that was the main reason. I mean, of course, it's also because it's like I wanted to help myself. And honestly, through this program, I'm realizing a lot about myself on things I need to work on. Like, obviously, time management is not my friend. I have horrible organizational skills. So it's like
Girl,
I realize it stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm realizing things about myself that I need to work on. And doing this coaching is actually helping me see what I need to do and what I need to work on. So like, not just like, physically, but just with everything else that, with the business side of it. So
awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Really appreciate it. Jolynn or Christine, do either of you want to share? Yeah. Okay. Jolynn, you can go. I'll unmute you.
All right, so like I've been crying a lot, obviously. But I was just thinking about, we've had a very rough time over the last, 10 years. I've always had like a extremely charmed life. I went to private school. I've never ever like had to want for anything really. And when I was 25, I had my first child, Reese. And I went through, and I hate to talk about this because Ashley is pregnant, but I went through my pregnancy and everything was wonderful and great. And when she was born, she had a massive brain hemorrhage. And we didn't know if she was going to make it. And the worst thing in the world is for somebody to tell you that the baby that you thought you were going to take home, that you might not. And it still upsets me when I think about it. But she stayed in the NICU for almost 3 months. And then she had brain surgery when she was 5 months old. And lots of therapy. I had to quit my job. And I just started putting on the weight because I was always having to take her places, and I just ate my feelings. And I was a stay-at-home mom, and it was really difficult. And then she was diagnosed with a bone tumor when she was 3, and she had to have several surgeries for that. You always spent a lot of time in the hospital with this kid. And then after having her, we had, 3 more, because I guess we didn't learn a lesson. I don't know. But the stress with having a sick kid is just a lot of pressure. Whenever she goes in the hospital, somebody else always has to watch our other children, so I feel like I neglect them most of the time. And I mean, she recently had surgery back in August. But the thing that really, really got me into wanting to be healthier is last year when she went to visit her doctor, he said that she was fat. And she was 9 years old. And he looked at me and said, if you can allow your child to, be this unhealthy, he's like, it is a life or death situation. Because if she ever has to have surgery, it could kill her. And that really got to me. Like, why am I letting my family eat this poorly? And why is it not important? Because your kids are the most important thing that you have. And I don't want something to happen to her. And she was also diagnosed with epilepsy. She has lots of seizures. So I really had to think about doing something. Like, we have to eat better. I need to do something. And I can't tell her to exercise when I absolutely hate it. I mean, I've always hated exercise. I mean, with a passion. So I'm telling her to exercise. She's not going to want to do it. She still doesn't want to do it, but I'm trying. I'm still working on that. Because I have 2 kids that are, like, athletes. But they didn't get that from me, okay? And my friend Jessica, I've been friends with for 15 years. She kept trying to get me to do the Beachbody method, which I did Turbo Jam, like, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years ago. I mean, I was like, I've done Beachbody before. And I hate to talk about this because my husband's taking a shower, but I was so cranky and unhappy and just like overwhelmed with life and my job, and I just hated myself. Like I didn't even want to like my husband to touch me. I was just so overwhelmed with life. And one day he was just like, "You've got to do something because I don't like this person you are." And I was like, I gotta be better. So I joined her stupid challenge group, because she kept messaging me. And it was probably like 2 months after that, because we were in shift shop, and I was like feeling really good, and I was starting to feel better about myself, is when I went to take her to the doctor, and she had emergency brain surgery. And I was like, I still want to try to do good, so I took my laptop computer up to the hospital, okay, surgery, and I did my little workouts in the little bitty hospital room that was like this big. But I had to do something because I was only allowed to see her every 4 hours for 30 minutes. They wouldn't let me stay with her, which is really hard to be away from your kid like that. And her asking, "Why are you leaving me, Mama? Don't leave me here by myself." So I had to do something to keep my mind off of it in between our visits. So that really helped me to keep my mind off of what was going on with her. But I really just signed up to be a coach for the discount because, my God, I have 4 kids. I mean, it's a lot of money. But it was worth it to me because I felt so good, and I was so much happier. And even my husband notices. And the other day, he was like, "Damn, your butt, it looks so good." I was like, "Yeah, it does. It's all those loops. I've been double looping, sucker." Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Now my son's worried about me because I'm crying. But anyways, so I really just wanted my friends that I know are miserable to, feel better about themselves too. Anyways, that's it. That's my story. I'm sorry, y'all. I talk loud.
Hi. You do not have to be sorry. You had me crying. I'm pretty sure I feel like we've all been crying this whole call. This was not my intention, I swear.
I'm pregnant and the entire team is emotional wrecks tonight.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for sharing that. Seriously. And hello, you were like the cutest little thing ever.
He's got stamps all over his face. Like,
hey,
I don't know.
it's boy mom life, right? But really, like, that is amazing. So thank you for sharing. Proud of you for doing your workout in a hospital. I know I follow a few. I'm actually friends with a coach who's fighting cancer right now, and she like shows her workouts in the hospital room, like while she's like about to do chemo and stuff. So like I totally like props to you, because most people would just go back into letting that be an excuse to not continue your journey. So that's huge. Oh gosh, I'm over here like. All right, Christine, I'm going to unmute you. I don't know if you want to share or not.
Yeah, I'll share. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry that you can't see me. I don't know why my webcam isn't working. So no one told me this was going to be such an emotional call. This is my first call. I've been like crying the whole time. But you girls all have such amazing stories. So my story kind of starts, when I was in high school, I was really healthy and I was an athlete. I played all the sports. And then when I was 18, my boyfriend, who is now my fiance, and I decided to move out at 18 to a different province. I'm in Canada, so we have the provinces. So we moved to a new province, and we were really young, and we didn't really get to know a lot of people. We didn't really make a lot of friends, and we didn't really know how to cook for ourselves. So we began kind of this really awful few years of just like horrible eating and just both of us being really unhealthy. I think our go-to meal was like steak and Kraft dinner, and it was so bad. Like, I threw out all the Kraft dinner when I started Beachbody. It's so disgusting. So that went for about like 5 years where we had this just horrible, unhealthy lifestyles. And in that time, I gained about like 50 pounds. And he gained a little bit more than that, I think. And so we ended up moving back to our hometown, like where we grew up and where all of our friends were. And I just started to feel like every time I went out with people and met people that I went to school with, I just had this like anxious thoughts that I felt like everyone's going to just think of me of that girl who got fat after school. And it was an awful feeling. And then I went through like all those different like stupid diets. I actually spent like $100 on those stupid wraps. Like it was the worst thing ever. It was so bad. I wasted so much money and nothing was working. And I just like consistently for like 5 years saw the scale go up and up and up and up and up. And I was so tired of it. And then my fiance proposed to me, or my boyfriend proposed to me and became my fiance. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to get healthy for this wedding because I don't want to go down the aisle like wishing that I had made this change. And that actually went for like a couple months without really doing anything. And then it kind of got to the point where it was like, I don't even want to walk down the aisle if this is how I'm going to be, because I hate my body. I hate the way I look. I didn't even want to go wedding dress shopping. I forced myself to do it because I just hated my body so much. So that's why I started doing Beachbody. Jesse ran a Sweating for the Wedding challenge group, and that's how I got connected with it. And it kind of changed my life. So I'm much healthier now, and I'm so much happier, and I'm like so excited to go try on my wedding dress when it comes in. And that's how I got into Beachbody. And I started coaching. I'm brand new into coaching. I just started like a couple weeks ago. Partly for the accountability, because I definitely want to like stay on the track that I'm on. I have a lot more like progress to make before our wedding. And even after that, I want to kind of continue with getting stronger and feeling more confident. And the other part was that I felt like I could connect with other people who are in the same situation as I am, who are maybe like getting married or, you know, kind of fell off the healthy wagon when they moved out or graduated university or college or whatever. And I kind of wanted to help them because I feel like without the support of everyone at Beachbody, I wouldn't have been able to make a change. So I feel like a lot of those people could use the same support that I got. So that's kind of what I want to give to people. And that's why I started.
Awesome. Thank you. I mean, I'm excited that you're excited to try on wedding dresses. That makes me
I'm so excited.
because that was like one of my big fears too, was like, what if I like hate wedding dress shopping, and like the wedding dress that I ended up with, y'all, like it like hugs my body and I'm like feeling good. I'm like, yeah, like this is awesome. But like I would have never felt that way had, you know, I stayed where I was at, because I would be that girl in dressing rooms bawling, crying because like nothing fit. So that makes me super happy that you're like excited to try on your dress. And yeah, it was your branding. Like I didn't mean to make this such an emotional call. I swear. She's probably like, oh my gosh, this is not how every call is like. I promise you, we don't cry on every call. Tonight was just kind of, I don't know. I wanted to just kind of get people thinking about why. And I know that like a lot of times we don't think about it, and we never really like there for a while. I never even like opened up and shared like why I was coaching. It took me a little while to start sharing the deeper reasons behind me coaching. But that's when I started sharing it, and I started seeing like, okay, I'm not alone in feeling this way. I'm not the only one that struggled with these things, or I'm not the only one that wants that for their life. You know, it made me feel like okay that I felt that way, because like for the longest time I didn't feel like I was okay with, like I thought it was bad to have anxiety. I thought that it was embarrassing to admit that I had depression, or you know, things like that. Like I just always kept it in, and I know I've noticed that the more I'm sharing, the more free I feel, if that makes any sense. So thank you all seriously for sharing such heartfelt and like meaningful and vulnerable things. Really, really do appreciate that, because that's not easy to do, and I know that. So I really do appreciate it. I hope that this call helped y'all. I mean, I know it's helped me. I actually wrote down like a lot of because a lot of our stories had very similar things, some completely different, but like at the end of the day, there's very similarities in there. So I wrote down just like random like things, and I'll post them in the team page. But like there are reasons why it's a broad thing. Like I wrote down like prevent disease, right? Or healthy living for our families, things like that. And y'all, that from this call alone, like I have so many posts that I'm like, okay, I can share about this and I can share about this. And obviously it would be my story, it won't be yours, but there are things that I'm like, why have I never talked about that before, right? Just from hearing you share your story. So think about that in that way. Like by you sharing your story, other people are going to think like, okay, if she can do it, like Ashley said earlier, if she can do that, then why can't I change, right? Or why can't I succeed at that? So yeah, so that's that. And I know Ashley wants to say something, but really quick before I forget, because I will forget. Next week we have Megan Seals. She was a full-time teacher. She went full-time with coaching, and she's pregnant, or she's pregnant. And she's been sharing her journey through her pregnancy and all that. And she's going to talk to us on our team call next week, which I'm really excited about. So it's going to be same time, same place, obviously. But I just wanted to remind you all about it. So Ashley, what did you want to say before we hop off here?
Okay. So last but not least thing that I'm going to say tonight. So I want you guys to really like think about like what Jesse said, how we all have such different stories, but how Beachbody has really changed us into who we are and who we are becoming. And to kind of wrap this into the beginning half of our call, making fitness your business, personal development, guys, is huge. I know that we all shared our why and what the workouts have done for us, but I promise you, you reading or you listening to personal development will just, as much as fitness has moved you from here to here, you reading personal development or audio books, it will change your life. We all come from different backgrounds, but that is what sets the successful coaches apart from the unsuccessful coaches. And I don't mean like unsuccessful, like you're never going to sell a challenge pack. I mean like the people who like literally break free from the chains of what's holding you back in your business. So like Sarah said earlier, like she knows that time is a really bad thing that she needs to work on. You need to read books about time management. And I'm not like singling you out, girlfriend. Trust me, I am procrastinator. I don't know why my mom didn't give that to me as a middle name, but like find a book that speaks to what you're struggling with, right? I'm trying to read more personal development. If I'm not reading it, I'm listening to it, right? We can listen to music all we want on the radio, but that isn't doing anything for our minds. So if we can grow our bodies to be as strong as they are to help us through our journey, you reading personal development or listening to it for an audiobook will make it even better for you. So I wanted to ask everyone what personal development they're reading. And be honest, if you're not reading personal development, like, don't lie to me. So
the Energy Bus, by the way, y'all, is probably my all-time favorite book. I read it in less than a day. And it takes me a long time to read books, like to physically read. So if y'all are looking for a good book, The Energy Bus is like where it's at. Sarah said Jolynn said T for Transformation, which is Shaun T's book. That's a good one too. Christine, I don't know if y'all can type in if y'all are reading. If y'all are not reading one, and y'all like everyone's like I can make suggestions on good books, but like Ashley just said, you might need to find something that's gonna like work for you and like where you're at. Like, I might be listening to like a business minded book where if you're still struggling with confidence, like you might need something else, right? Like, so and Jolynn said she just ordered the book. What is that? Do you know what it's called? The book that Autumn suggested? I haven't listened to all of her stuff yet, to be honest. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. So I'm listening. I listen to first of all, I listen to the National Wake Up Call every Monday. That is something that I do for my business. Like, so I do like business PD, and then I do like personal, like more mental, emotional PD, I guess, you could say. And so my business PD is National Wake Up Call every week. I also am listening to The Prosperous Coach by Rich Lintiven. It's more so about like health coaches, like not necessarily, or like life coaches, not like Beachbody coaches, but it is really good. And then I'm also reading The Universe Has Your Back. So I'm reading this one, like physical book, and then I'm listening to The Prosperous Coach. Like Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein is more my personal, and then The Prosperous Coach is more like my business one, and then as well as the National Wake Up Call. Let's see. And then Christine said she downloaded an app called Breakthrough that has professional videos. Yeah, I've heard of that. I actually should download that too. And then y'all, if you don't want to like listen to a book or listen to like or read a book, if you just are like a podcast person, Melanie Mitro actually has a podcast. Something with I have to find it. I don't listen to it, or I haven't been listening to it. But I listen to. There's a few that I listen to. So Soul in the Raw, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. These are actually two of my really good friends. They have an amazing podcast. And then the Manifestation Babe podcast is one of my favorites too. And the Chalene Show is really good too. Yeah, Tony Robbins, anything Tony Robbins is. I love Tony Robbins. He's my future husband, except he's not, but he's married and I'm about to get married. But like, we're soulmates, me and Tony Robbins. So I listen to him all the time. Yeah, so I've been thinking of podcasts. Yeah, so I'll screenshot some of my podcasts for y'all, like the ones that I like. But y'all, you can go on there and like search like anything. I mean, there's so much on podcasts that you can listen to. All right, ladies. Yeah, I'm like shaking like a 5-year-old because I'm about to pee on myself. But yeah, I hope you had a great night. Thank you so much for getting on. Remember next week's call, 8 p.m. Megan Seals is going to be talking, so I really would love to have everyone on if you can. And we'll talk later on. So thank you so much for sharing, y'all. Bye.